of about 100 values that we could find that is suitable for our country in Thailand. But out of all those 100 values, we can classify them under the main 5 human values. So whatever we can think of, we can always fit into one of the 5 human values that are listed in front of us here. Let us look at the first human value. And I like to spend some time on this human value, and that is truth. What is the truth? Man is somewhat misled by what is the truth. What is the real truth? Let us take, for example, and I'd like you to participate in this. First, I would like you to look at your neighbor, the person who's sitting next to you. All right, that's quite enough. So what do we see? We see beautiful faces. We see handsome faces. Is that really true? Is that the truth? Well, I happen to be a scientist, and I would like to make a statement from a scientist that what you see is an illusion. It's not really true. Why is that? How do we see? What do we use to see? Eyes. And what is the medium that can cause us to see after we use our eyes? We use light. Well, there are many scientists here, I'm sure. What kind of energy is that? I asked this at my EHV classes, and children of 12 and 14, they can answer. What kind of energy is this light? Electromagnetic waves. Very clever, very good. Yes, it is electromagnetic wave. Now, this energy has different frequencies, from the very low frequencies to the very, very high frequencies. But light is just a small part of all those frequencies. For example, when we talk about higher frequencies in light, we have ultraviolet, and we go on to the energies that are used in hospitals like X-rays, and we have even higher frequencies, all of which we cannot see. Lower than the light, we have infrared, and we have lower frequencies like microwaves that we use in communications, radio frequencies, short wave, medium wave, long wave. All these are electromagnetic waves, but we can't see them. So I'd like you to try again. Look at your neighbor. But now, suppose you're looking at each other with X-ray. So what do you see? You see some kind of skeleton. The beautiful face, the handsome face no longer exists. What is the truth? Looking at a low frequencies. Now I'd like you to look again. All our surrounding. But this time with radio waves. Nothing. Ah, yes. Suppose we have a radio receiver. Those, all the doors. We can still receive the various stations by tuning our radio. Therefore, it means that the radio waves can come through the wall, come through the ceiling, come through the floor. And therefore, when we start looking using radio waves, the building starts to disappear. It doesn't really exist as we think. We can see straight through it. We can see a long, long way away using radio waves. So even buildings, which we think is a solid thing, is no longer solid. So what is the truth? We are all like blind men who go to discover an elephant. One person started feeling the tail and said, an elephant is like a rope or string. Another person goes to the leg, feel his way around the leg. He said, an elephant is like a pillar. Another person goes to the belly, start feeling the belly of the elephant. It's like a wall. And they all have an argument about it. We are like those blind men. We are looking at things and we think that what we see with our senses are real, are true. But science has shown that really it's an illusion. It's not really true. So we have to find out what is the truth. Scientists have been going around trying to discover the truth. They make research, they perform experiments, they make observations, and it's just like a circle where knowledge, what we have found out, what we have discovered by our scientists, is within the circle. And we continue our research around the circumference. We discover more things, we understand a little bit more of our nature, of our universe. So the circle expands. Circle becomes bigger and bigger. But at the same time, scientists have discovered that the circumference becomes bigger and bigger. There are many more things to be discovered. There are many more things that we don't understand. The more we understand, the more we don't understand. And there's no end to that. Nowadays, scientists become specialists. We understand just a part of our little circumference. We cannot understand everything now. So scientists have become specialists in that particular field because the circle is so big. And yet, there's so many things for us to discover, for us to do research. And there is no end. How can we understand the universe? Is there a way? Is there something that once we know and understand, we can understand everything? In the same way, man has been searching for peace and happiness. And we've been searching everywhere. We go over there, we go over here, we travel everywhere. And yet, we cannot really find true peace until finally he discovers that the peace that he has been looking for is not outside of himself, but it's right here inside us. So we're beginning to find an answer. We have to look within. We have to find something within ourselves. Maybe he can understand everything. Let me give an illustration. A few years ago, I went to the United States. At that time, I was a professor at Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok. And I found that what I was teaching was so outdated. I was teaching about microwave communications. That is the result of my education in England. And I found that what I learned at university here was already so outdated. So I had to go and find out the latest technology so that I can come back and teach my children. So I went to the United States to find a job temporarily. And they announced the Viking project, the project that we were trying to discover what is Mars. We tried to put some satellites or some rockets. We're going to send it to Mars, make a landing there, and try to send some information back. So I competed in this project. I wanted to get into the project and so learn all about the latest technology. It was quite tough to get in. It wasn't so easy because so many scientists were involved. We have to write proposals, what we're going to do. So finally I decided to choose a particular part of the Viking project, which other scientists have not been able to do up to that time. And that is, they were unable to make a soft landing on Venus, on Mercury, and Mars. Use our radio waves to control the landing. The Russians, the Americans have failed to make soft landing, except on the moon. But other planets, they have failed. Every time the satellites or the rockets went there, it made a hard landing and no signal was sent back. Just became quiet. Because there won't be many people to compete. If I chose something that's easy, I wouldn't be able to get in. So I decided to make a nice proposal based on my education at London University here. So I wrote a very nice proposal. I said I'll build this part 1 inch by 1 inch, whereas other scientists and engineers, they're saying they were going to make one 1 foot by 1 foot, and several kilos of weight. In my case, it was only 35 grams. So I beat everybody. Actually, I didn't know exactly how to do it, but I thought that, well, there was still some time to do some research. They didn't expect us to know straight away how to do it. They just want to know if we have some idea. And they're willing to spend millions and millions of dollars for us to do research. So anyway, NASA agreed to accept me into this project. And I started to do my research. I spent several months doing it. Finally I said, okay, here's the product. I gave it to them. They installed in their Viking. They didn't send it up yet. They tested it with a computer. They created a condition similar to the landing and see if it works.